what does happen after we die? Heaven? Hell? Somewhere else entirely? For many of the world's 1.3 billion Hindus and Buddhists, the answer is reincarnation. Reincarnation is the rebirth of the soul into another body after death. Sounds a lot better than limbo, but is there any way to prove the existence of past lives? For two families in Sri Lanka, this little boy is all the proof they need. Shatura was only 3 years old when he started to speak of his memories of a previous life and his violent death as a soldier.
He said this was not his home. He constantly cried because he wanted to go to his real home. He said, "You are not my mother. My mother is lighter-skinned and heavier than you." He used to cry all the time.
Past life memories are an accepted part of Sri Lankan culture, but few are able to match their memories to a specific person. Shatura's case was different. Shatura claimed that the birthmark on his neck was evidence of his former self being shot, and he vividly recalled a life with another set of parents in the village of Naramala.
If this hadn't happened, the family wouldn't have said it had. We had to persuade them to even put it in the newspaper. They didn't want this to be published.
The story caught the eye of MP Martin and his wife, who recognized their own son's story in Shatura's tale. The Martins are from Naramala, and their son Dayananda was fatally wounded in a military skirmish. Shatura had never met the Martins, but knew some surprising details about them. He knew Mr. Martin was a bricklayer and spoke of a small shop with a thatched roof that his father had built for him shortly before he died, of injuries to the head and neck. It was enough to convince Shatura's own mother.
He stared for a long time, then he said, "Daddy," and his eyes filled with tears. We all cried too.
Coincidence, wishful thinking, or something else? There is no scientific evidence to support reincarnation or refute it. But for the Martin family, they have all the proof they need.
Even though I lost my son, he's been born again. He called me mother and my husband father, and that made me so happy. We're almost as happy as we would be if we had our son back.